Do not adjust your set. It's 6:01 p.m. and it is Director Flanagan first in the chair. Do not adjust your TV. Councilperson Gajewski.
Here.
Gadsden.
Present.
Bargiano.
Yes.
Yun.
Here.
Osborne. Robinson.
Here.
Rivera. Waterman. Lavara.
Here.
We have all 9 members in attendance. Take it away, Council President.
Okay, we have Director Flanagan here for a walk-on item.
Yes, I'll help her identify it. It is the... Yes.
What you just were handed.
Z31.
Authorizing the City of Jersey City to accept a donation to seniors from Boost Mobile.
So just like we came in February, we have some corporate partners that would like to support some of our programming. Our next event for the seniors is March 16th and 17th for St. Patrick's Day, and we received a donation from Boost Mobile for gifts for the seniors. So,
Okay, no questions? Thank you, Stacy. All right, let's bring up, shall we let Ann be relieved from this madness? Come on up, Ann.
So this would be
10C, I want to introduce you to Ann Doyle, who is here for consideration to be appointed as the next tax collector for Jersey City.
So, I'll explain the process and how we got here today. Maureen Cosgrove, long time tax collector, retired back in October. We then posted the position within the New Jersey League of Municipalities website and publications, and then also reached out to the New Jersey Certified Tax Collectors Association, and they had spread the news through their network of the position being open. We had, I believe it was 8 candidates apply, and we brought 5 of them in for interviews because 3 of the 8 did not have their license. 5 of them were then interviewed by a committee consisting of Mr. John Mercer, Allison Solowski, and James Lombianca. The committee then made a recommendation of 3 for a second interview. 2 of the 3 accepted the offer of a second interview. Myself and Mr. Albies interviewed the final 2, and then we are now coming to the council with the recommendation of Ann Doyle as the city's next tax collector.
Can you just speak more to the licensing requirement, or?
So by statute, the city is required to have a tax collector appointed by the governing body. In order to hold the position of tax collector, you must complete a series of courses and pass a state test to get your license, much like the CFO and the city clerk and tax assessor and tax assessor, tax collector is one of those statutory positions. So, Ann has met all the requirements. Her license is in good standing, and we feel she's an excellent candidate to lead that office.
Can I ask?
You certainly can, Councilman.
When I read your resume, it's very impressed. My concern is that you work like 4 different places actually as a tax collector, but most of the places you stayed 3-4 years. Any reason you only stayed 3-4 years in each town?
Well, Little Egg Harbor, I was not the tax collector. That was the first municipality that I worked in. I got my license before I worked there. I took the classes while I was working for a private company doing property tax record searches. So I left there to go to Pemberton to make more money. The first 15 years of my working career after college, I worked in the private sector. So probably more so than many municipal employees, I support myself, and you, like many places, you often, the ability to make a larger increase in income is going on to a new town versus with more responsibilities versus staying where you are. In Pemberton, my title was put into a union without my knowledge, and so I found out a few months before the end of the calendar year that I left Pemberton Township, because when you're in a union, the statutory protections that you have as a tax collector don't apply. And I was not comfortable working without the statutory protections that my title has, based on the demands of the tax collection office there. Edison was a fiscal situation. Edison had assistant directors for all of their departments prior to the levy cap law being passed and the appropriations cap. So all of the other assistant directors were let go in December, the end of December of 2009. I was there until December of 2010, until August of 2010, because we had projects that I was the assistant director of finance. So I was let go at the end of July, basically, for continuing fiscal control. And then I worked for Lakewood for a year, and there was a difference of opinion as to what was illegal behavior. And I felt some of the things they wanted me to do were illegal, and I was not comfortable doing that.
I like that. So every time you change it, they pay a little more, right?
And the borough of Tenafly was actually, my position was made part-time. And
Because I see that lately you only there 1 year, and Tenafly, you only there like 3 years. You know, so my concern is that you actually get a lot of different experience in the government side, but it's you only stay the short term of the, in each town. That's my most concern. But as you say, every time you move on, they pay more, and you're happy with that, so keep move on. But let me ask this one: City of Jersey, they offer to you that the pay amounts, and also other things, but probably City of offer is happy with that.
yes,
I don't want you to stay only
for-
1 year.
I would like this to be my last, I'd like to be here for the rest of my, well,
And I like hear that whatever they ask some town was you not feel comfortable as a professional tax collector, so you didn't, you left at that place. I like to good to hear those things. I have to keep on your eye in Jersey City as a tax collector in your department too. All right? Good. I got no other question. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
thank you.
See you Wednesday.
Okay. Monday?
Monday will be the start date,
Yeah,
assuming the council votes on Wednesday.
okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Arjun, you got a minute. You're at 10J. J is in Jack.
This is a resolution authorizing the acceptance of a grant awarded to us by the New Jersey Highlands Council. The grant will allow us to study the feasibility of setting up what's called a TDR receiving zone in Jersey City. That's as about 100% of our water comes from the Highlands. TDR compensates landowners in the Highlands whose development rights are restricted by allowing them to sell credits. And the intention is that a developer would be able to buy those credits and build an increased density in a receiving zone. This grant merely allows us to study the feasibility of establishing such a zone in Jersey City. Doesn't obligate us to do anything more than study it. It's already been awarded, and the resolution is to accept the funds.
I got an elementary question. What is a TDR?
Transfer development rights.
Transfer development rights. And what does that mean?
So it's a program. So in the Highlands preservation area, there are environmental restrictions that prevent development on certain parcels of land. The TDR program allows people whose land has been development restricted to get credits for the lost development potential. Then the idea is that those credits would be bought by a developer from what's called the sending zone, and then redeemed in the receiving zone, which would allow them to build at an increased density. So you're transferring the development from a restricted area, the highlands for environmental reasons to protect our drinking water, to a non-restricted area that can receive more density. The idea being that this compensates landowners for having to restrict, for the burden of environmental protection. I'm an innovation strategist. I'm with the Office of Innovation. I was previously an aide to the mayor until December of last year.
Because when I see that the email, they have some kind of development going on Highland, those reservoir area. Did you familiar with that issue?
I'm sorry?
They have some kind of development going on our reservoir in the Highland, that area.
The Booton Reservoir, I have heard of this. I know there's some environmental commission, but it's not necessarily related to this.
Okay, no other questions? Thank you, Arjun.
Thank you.
Let's see, we've got Joe, and then I'll get to you folks out right after that. Joe Cunha, you got one item, right? One item. All right. Joe's got 3E. E is an elephant. 3E. Huh? Yeah. You are a whip. And she like, bitch, started with like about, I'm on the Affairs Commission. Why am I not on this commission? I'm like, really? You want to be on it?
Good job.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so the reason I'm here tonight is to present this ordinance. I'm going to give a brief explanation of the background. I'm sure everyone's familiar with their driving exam from whenever that was, to maintain parking distance of 50-foot minimum from the stop sign. However, the state allows, or should I say Title 39 specifically allows, for a city to change that as it sees fit outside of school zones. Where the school zone remains, the Title 39 still remains in effect as 50 foot. I think we all understand and know that in an urban environment such as this, 50 feet is unrealistic. So what we've decided to do is put forth and match the standard on every other corner, which is 25 feet from a crosswalk. We want to do 25 feet from a stop sign.
Thank you, really appreciate it.
So I think
Everybody in the utilize the space.
I would love to make it 5 feet. The problem is the sight distance and turning radiuses of the trucks, most importantly, public safety equipment.
Yeah, fire trucks, how does that impact on mobility?
So based on the recent posts from Facebook and whatnot, we've gone ahead and implemented any street. We went through and picked out from the list of all city streets by width, any street 25 foot or narrower in width, where they overlap each other, we're going to go ahead and implement the daylighting, if you will, the clearing of the corners with paint to make sure that that's easier for public safety to enforce. If we need to go any farther than that, that's going to require possible installation of flexible delineators to physically force people not to park there, as you've seen in some areas.
Those narrow streets will have 50 feet still, or 25?
What we'll do is we'll force the box on the corner as was requested, so that people can visually see where the 25 foot is to stay out of it.
So 25 feet is sufficient for a fire truck to be able to
Yes.
make a turn into those?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, if the streets are excessively smaller, because there are a few, again, only where they overlap each other is where we have the major concern. We don't anticipate that there's going to be that many, although overall, narrow segments, we have 300 plus. That's just narrow segments of streets, 25 feet or under. The way we compiled that list, we had compiled it for DPW so that they had a little bit easier time of plowing those streets and applying their. We can do that.
Fire truck trying to do it at
Yep.
like, at 25 feet?
Templates on them just to make sure, and if not, then we'll have to beef it up greater than 25 feet where it makes sense.
Concern of mine too. Like, I can give you an example street. If you're coming down 4th and Erie Street, and it says somebody parked 25 feet, I'm telling you, there's not a fire truck in the world that's gonna make that right to go up Erie Street.
We'll put it on the template, make sure that it works. My fear is that people were closer than 25 feet, and that's the issue. So where they are now, we'll go ahead and mark those, and then it'll be visually much easier to identify. I was going to, but,
Okay, no, I was gonna say Junior Maldonado's back here.
Right, the
And every time
freeholder.
I'm up the county, they show us the
They
courtesy
sure
of letting
do.
us
I
go,
saw the
so they
freeholder.
don't have to sit through it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Councilman. I'm here as a private citizen, I'm a private man. Thank you.
He's not here to speak on any particular item.
The president knows which item it is. Thank you.
Politician here.
I'm good. I'm good to go.
Okay, thank you, Joe.
Unless they want anything else.
Nothing else. Go while you can. Okay, we got David and Mr. Hoffman, and is Matt with you too? Is Matt part of this group? You're not part of this? Okay. Got this? Yeah. Do you have enough or no? Oh.
So I wanted to start with what I'm passing out right now. So 2 weeks ago this Sunday, the SpaceX Falcon rocket went up from the Kennedy Space Center in Florida, and with it carried up an experiment that was designed by 4 students at McNair, and they're pictured right here. Last year, Liberty Science Center worked with 225 students in Jersey City to see if any of them could design an experiment that was good enough to go up to the space station. So 2 weeks ago, this was launched. The other picture is we worked with 5th graders here in Jersey City to create a seal that's going on to the space station too, and that was launched. And it's a seal that represents people coming together to do science in space. Last Sunday, we had 100 families with Fragile X syndrome come to the Science Center for Rare Disease Day, and I showed them around. This is typical of what we do at the center. We have 650,000 people that come a year. 250,000 of them are K through 12 students from all through the state of New Jersey, and 91,000 of them come from the at-risk community. That is our mission, to help at-risk kids. Our overall mission is to inspire the next generation of scientists and engineers. We have a real problem in this country that hits New Jersey disproportionately hard, and that's that we're not graduating enough kids from high school and college with the science and technical chops that private industry needs. So that's what we try to do, is get kids inspired at a young age. In Jersey City, 83% of all K through 12 students came to Liberty Science Center in the last year. That's 30,500 students. We got grants close to $500,000 so that almost 5,000 of those students could come for free and do programs for free. We worked with 100 teachers in Jersey City last year to provide them with professional development programs to improve, most of those were science teachers, to improve their teaching of science. So what we want to do with SciTech City is create a place where we can extend our mission of inspiring the next generation of scientists and engineers and do that on steroids. And by that I mean, we don't have all-day contact with these 250,000 students that come and those 91,000 at risk. All those programs look good. The NJDOE would really like us to have a school, a K through 12 school. No one has got it right in how to teach science in this country. That's why we have that problem. And we don't pretend to know all the answers, but we want to work with the best people locally and the best people nationally who created science schools elsewhere and create a K through 12 school that will make the most difference for our kids, particularly the kids in the neighborhood. to come to the school. We want to create the best science high school in the United States, and we don't just want to equip kids so that they can go into the workforce in science. We want to create those jobs right away. So we're creating what we call a business optimizer for science and technology companies, 100 startup companies there. This project, and what I passed around to you, was an economic analysis of this. So I'll just give you the top line summary of it. It creates 3,500 jobs. 853 of those are permanent jobs. The rest are construction jobs over the 2-year period, but 853 permanent jobs. Daniel Fuente here is number one of those jobs. We hope to add 852 more jobs. The output from construction, this is an in-plan economic analysis, is $228 million. The value added is $127 million. This is here for Hudson County and Jersey City. Right now, the Science Center employs 101 people from Jersey City. 1/3 of my full-time and part-time workforce comes from Jersey City. We expect to employ lots of people from Jersey City in this project. Once the project's up and running, the annual output is $33 million, okay? This is what I call a butts and seats analysis. This is not about what the project will do aspirationally for the region. It's the number of people sitting there. We look at what we pay them. We look at the taxes they're going to pay. But you get $33 million a year in each year of operation. But the reason we're doing this project is because we want to make Jersey City the hub for science and technology innovation in the state of New Jersey. We want to bring together leading minds in science and technology, not just to help these companies make it, which would be great, because the statistics show that 70% of all startups, if they make it, meaning if they take on serious funding, they expand within 5 miles of where they were born. So if this project works in the way we want it to work, it will generate lots of jobs in the community, and you'll think of Jersey City first on the East Coast as a place to come if you're setting up shop as a high-tech company. So the project has a few parts to it. It has the K-12 school. We can show it right here. You've seen it in your thing, but this is Liberty Science Center, and this is the project spanning it. It has these 4 components to it. Liberty Science Center, which is, of course, already constructed.
Let me pick that up over here.
Sure. Thank you. So Liberty Science Center, it's already constructed, but we're going on to our 25th anniversary next year, and this December, we'll be opening the biggest and most technologically advanced planetarium in the Western Hemisphere. We expect this to draw tourists to New Jersey and also be an unparalleled educational resource for students and families in Jersey City and New Jersey. By the way, the Science Center right now, we draw 125,000 people from Brooklyn and Manhattan annually to Jersey City. We draw 474,000, I think it is, let me not get the figure wrong, people from outside Hudson County to Jersey City. If there were restaurants right near us that you could easily walk to, they would be doing off the charts well. People are always asking our welcome desk where to go. So we draw almost 500,000 people from outside Hudson County here. We will do that much more with this planetarium. So that's the part of the project that exists right now. The planetarium is funded with a generous $5 million grant from a philanthropist named Jennifer Charleston. We will have the K-12 school. We will have the business incubator. And by the way, all these businesses have to give back to the school. That means as simple as mentoring one student. But if you're in the ed tech space, the students could be testing your products. They could be helping you develop them. The students could be doing your website and all the coding. We're going to have a 24-hour coding academy as part of the school, not just for the students in the school, but the whole community. People who want to learn 21st century skills, maybe they're thinking of making a job transition, maybe it's something that a single mom wants to do at home because you're eminently employable as a coder and a programmer from your home. So we'll have a 24-hour facility to do that. Next to EdgeWorks is Scholars Village. So this is a small, short-term and long-term residences, 250 residences in total. It's to enable these companies that are here to have their workforce and themselves live there. It's for teachers in the school to be able to live there, and probably half of the 250 units are student housing for students in the sciences. We're looking to graduate students. There's a shortage of student housing in northern New Jersey, and at Stevens, at NJIT, at NYU, and other schools in New York. So why do we call this a city? Because it's a mini community in which people can live, they can work, they can send their kids to school. It's Sci-Tech City in Jersey City, and we want this to be the hub of innovation. And that's the project in a nutshell. And I hope we can have your support, and it will be as easy as the last resolutions we discussed today.
You're missing one point.
Yes.
This meeting and the meeting before, and Dave, we've asked, we want to know, the people of Jersey City want to know. I have nothing against the project, it's a great project. With cities giving you 20 acres of land, we want to know the assessed valuation. Hold it, Dave. I mean, we're having a revow of which most of the people in this city are going to get their taxes raised, and there's a lot of problems right now. Why haven't we gotten an assessed valuation of the land?
You'll see in the questions that you put forward to us, and the reason why we answered it the way we have, okay? So, this is an investment in the economic development of the future of Jersey City. Please, just let me finish, because you really didn't give me a chance to finish last time. There will be an appraisal done 90 days after closing. Just, please, can you let me finish, please? That's all I'm asking. So 90 days after closing, we're gonna do an appraisal, and here's the reason why, okay? We will get every penny back of what this property is worth over time, and then some. Because we're going to be partners with Liberty Science Center. What's happening here is our investment, our capital into this project is our land, okay? Is the city's land. And what happens here is after a certain period of time, when the philanthropic fundraising is met and that money is paid back, we then share in the revenues 50-50 until that appraisal price is paid off. And then, in perpetuity, in other words, forever, we get 20% of the revenues forever. So over time, this is a long-term investment. You will not get a better deal than this on a project like this that brings to the future of Jersey City all of these things that the mayor has talked about in his State of the City address, a coding lab, a biotech lab, all of these different things. You will not get a better return on your dollar in an investment like this without a project like this, without that setup. That's quite simply, and that's why we did it and set it up this way. We are doing an appraisal. The city will get every dollar it deserves, and it will get more because we have put together a project and a redevelopment agreement that both protects the city and allows for investment. New York City is developing a new civic hall. Land at Union Square, I would wager, is more valuable than land just outside of Liberty State Park, okay? They are investing their property at Civic Hall in Union Square in New York City and giving the project, and they're giving it to a for-profit developer. They're giving it to a for-profit developer, whereas we're working with a non-profit developer to protect the city heretofore forever.
Dave, you're just saying you're working with a non-profit. That means we're not going to get nothing. Dave, I've been around too long. We asked for an assessed valuation of the land. We don't want to wait till we transfer it over to redevelopment, and all of a sudden things are happening, and we're going to get a load of BS. Let's get an assessed valuation. That's why. No, Dave. Then give the medical center, like I said last week, back there.
Those are apples and oranges. And that's not fair. That's not fair. They responded to an RFP, so it's not fair. It's apples and oranges, and it's two different pieces of property. Real estate. Each piece of real estate is a unique piece of property.
I'll just add a couple things that are really important. One, this project is not just exciting for Jersey City. This is exciting for the whole state. This is the model that should be followed to create the type of jobs that are going to be here and lasting for our residents that go beyond the old jobs that kind of don't make as much sense economically in a place like Jersey City. Also, from an evaluation standpoint, evaluations aren't free, they're quite costly, and right now, given the current conditions of the site, it doesn't make sense to do an evaluation. Once we amass the property and have the full plan moving forward, that's when we're gonna get the highest value for our land, that's when we're gonna show the highest potential value to the city, and so we're gonna have to do it then. For me, as your attorney, I wouldn't recommend you pay for it twice, but obviously, that's your choice. What I'm saying to you is if this council wants to compel us to do an evaluation, you can take that vote and you could compel us to do it. It would just be a waste of money, but that's your choice.
You know what I mean? and I go back to what New York City's doing with Civic Hall. It's almost the exact same project in a more valuable area. $250 million that a private developer is going to do, and the New York City Economic Development Corporation is turning over their land for that project. We need to make those same investments.
Councilperson Osborne?
I mean, not to get overly theoretical, but isn't the value like whatever we create it to be, given that we have the ability to create a redevelopment plan and say what can be built on it anyway? So,
Yes, there is a point to be made there, yes.
So you can kind of back into whatever number you want, right? We have the ability, we have zoning rights. It's our land and we can zone it how we see fit, and there's
You have the ability
certain.
to change the law.
So I think it's kind of like, if you put a price on it, go ahead and put whatever price you want. And yes, we could theoretically do that. I don't think that's the decision that we're making.
Right.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. That is an excellent point. And in this project, we have this RDA set up so that over time, the city will be paid back. And it's actually an investment because it's in perpetuity, forever. We will get 10, 20%. We're doing something not only for our children, but our children's children. You know, amongst Native Americans, there's something that you're supposed to think about. You're supposed to think about what you're going to do for the 7th generation, because that's how far ahead you can see. And so this is something we're doing for 7 generations ahead. That is how important this project is.
Councilman Yuen and Robinson?
I think nobody against it, well, nobody discount, this such a wonderful project. So I'm telling you, I support 110% this project, and really about time we bring up this kind of value project in the Jersey City. I'm not that, you know what I'm saying? But as a council, before hand to land to JCRA, forget about the Liberty Sign, the JCRA, we like to know the value of land. Simple. We're not asking a whole lot. Forget about Liberty Science Center. Just tell us that we do that outside appraisal, land value come up, $200 million, $100 million, or $70 million. That's like we like to hear. We're not criticizing any project itself. Not only myself, everybody's the same page because we support it. But actually just between JCRA and City of Jersey, we like to know, have a presence, number one. Number two.
But we will have an appraisal done, and you will know the value
No.
of the land, and you will receive that back over time.
Before we
Does it make a difference?
Yes, make a big difference.
Is there a value to which you would say?
No, listen to me.
That's exactly the question.
Jeremy, because now, listen, let me finish my speech. Next one, you just mentioned to that whatever is valuable land, there will be payback because of profit sharing. Okay, I agree with you there, but look, this is the problem. We sell the land, 17-acre land, the JCRA dollar. Now JCRA will be sell the land to the Liberty Science at $10.
Listen, I'll take the $9 out of my pocket and give it back to the city.
That's what you say here. That's what you say here.
$10.
I know it's in. That was what was agreed upon on that. The
lawyers just wrote that.
Okay, $10.
Council, any numbers they put it in?
Okay, $10.
$10.
Let's keep going. Finish your statement. $10.
It's still a nominal consideration.
When you keep interfering when I say something, it's not fair to me.
Please continue.
See, before I say something, let me calm down myself. Chris, you want to say something? Go ahead.
No, it's Councilman Robinson.
The $33 million you said, the cost per year, was that
Well,
operating?
that's the economic benefit to Jersey City and the area per year. Like what we're paying the people there, what taxes they're paying, that's the value created per year immediately from the project. It's not if a company makes it and gets land elsewhere, but butts in seats, the people that are there, 853 people.
And this programs will we have?
This is
available
great.
to make
Just so-
this money back. I know
Yeah.
you said 50-50 and then 80-20.
Yeah, so we will share revenue at 50%, 50% after the philanthropic fundraising is paid back. We will then share any revenues, okay, 50-50, until we receive the value of the appraisal back, and then after that, forever, in perpetuity, we will receive 20% of all the revenues ever generated by this project.
I think we all have kind of the same issues. What programs do we have to make the money to give us 50%?
So
We want to know what programs will
Where's the revenue
Right,
the Science Center is running the business optimizer and the school and all these things to create a sci-tech city, a business optimizer that will generate this. That's what gets generated. And so that's what happens. So our investment, the city's investment into this project to be a partner is our land. They're raising $78 million philanthropically and probably getting another $200 million in a variety of sources, okay? So $278 million, and so they're investing $278 million, and we are investing the land as partners to make this project work.
See, now, that's clear for that, okay? I think a lot of people think a different way.
Councilman Robinson, are you done?
Yeah, you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay, you, Councilman Gadsden?
I had a couple of questions. I'll first go back. I think if you had an assessed value of the land going into the deal, then you can actually say, well, here's how the city is going to be paid back over, 50-50. I mean, this is how much the city deems to be the value. I guess you're going to get your appraisal after all that. But I mean, I guess people feel comfortable in knowing like what's the value, whatever first, right?
So we're hiring, just so you know, I don't mean to interrupt you, but we're hiring an MAI, which is a licensed appraiser, who will give us that value as part of this project, and then that will be the number that we work out.
Yeah, because I think the problem is that folks, whatever, saying that the land has a value and no one knows what that value is, regardless of how it's 12 million, 1 million, whatever the million is. And then going into the deal, you can say, well, here's how the city's going to be paid back over the life of this particular project, right? Mm-hmm. But the second thing that I have, I asked a question before about this K-12 school because you did say whatever Jersey City has been a good partner over the last 25 years with the Liberty Science Center, and so I just wanted assurances on what type of school would be inside of SciTech because the way I'm looking at the project, like it's more so an incubator, and it's creating a pipeline and it's creating success, whatever, for kids who go to school. And then afterwards, they'll receive jobs because of the corporate partners that you have within this complex. And so my concern outside of the financials is, are we going to pour into the kids here inside of Jersey City? And what insurances is going to be that Jersey City students will benefit from it? And then are you in conversation with the Jersey City Public School District and kind of like creating whatever that type of a partnership and creating a sci-tech, whatever, high school, a sci-tech K-8 school inside of Jersey City, because that's, to me, that's going to be hugely important. I mean, I didn't go for the project down there on Columbus because of the fact that, like, I didn't see real value, whatever, in that 200, whatever, seat K to pre-K, because there's no value, whatever, in that. But there's a whole lot of value in this, because this is talking about economic development, this is talking about driving, this is talking about building up students from the beginning all the way up until they, leave. And then the second thing, the third thing I had was that these permanent jobs that are going to be, created outside of construction, what type of jobs are they going to be for Jersey City residents who are not scientists and people like that who are into the tech field? Because the tech field is going to come in, they're going to be living there, their families and everybody's going to be living there, the corporation's going to be living there. But when you do employ a lot of people, because I got a lot of students and people like that who are gainfully employed, but I just want to know, because it sounds beautiful, but what type of jobs Jersey City residents are going to get? Are they going to be more so the people at the concession stands? Are they going to be more so the people who are just coming to work on the light rail, coming from the hill? Like, what type of jobs is expected? Because that's not really explained like, throughout the whole entire project.
No, those are both very good questions. So we're working with Marshall Lyles and her staff. We're working with the NJDOE on this school. We want to do the best for the kids here. That is our mission at Liberty Science Center. We want to do the best for the kids right near us because they've been left behind by the renaissance of Jersey City. We are pursuing and investigating all the different ways we could set up a school above them. We need the flexibility to be very nimble in our learning and teaching methods because no one has gotten it right, how to teach science. And what the NJDOE would like to see is whatever we do, okay, that will work, hopefully, with kids from the community, at-risk kids, that those learning and teaching methods can then be made available to schools throughout the state and elsewhere. That's our goal.
Okay, you gotta excuse me, I mean, me personally, I mean, I get turned off with at-risk, because at-risk just does something to me, and I'll explain it to you later. But, I heard that another hurdle that you probably would have, and that flexibility that you would need is kind of like around unions. Right?
Well, the flexibility could be around funding. If there's funding to create a
Right.
public school, and we can get funding elsewhere, and it's gonna be 10 years to create a public school, it's not gonna do anybody any good. So there's a lot of things that we need to be able to do and figure that out. And we don't know the answer yet, so that's why we're working with people. But the bottom line is, it has to make a difference for the neighborhood, it has to make a difference for Jersey City, and it needs to model and hopefully get right a new way of teaching science by doing science. That's what we do in our day life at Liberty Science Center. The NJDOE believes that if we had full-time contact with kids, instead of they're just coming for a 2-hour program once a week or every day, that we'll have better results. And that's what we want to be able to do.
That would, just ask one of them offline questions. Would the intended school propose for this type, a charter school?
No, we've investigated a charter model. We're gonna look at a county vocational model, but we're concerned that that might be too broad and not reach Jersey City. So it's all under discussion.
It's what's
You know,
best
even
for the
if-
community, that's what you're really looking
It's
for.
the best for the
What
community
will
is-
function in this community,
Yes,
that's what you're looking for.
absolutely. What we could do that would help
That would get you,
kids
the
that might
school.
otherwise be left behind.
So you're also looking for, the school to be built as fast as possible without having all the restrictions.
Right, to
but-
teach the kids.
Yes.
And
So whatever model.
So if he had,
Right.
so if he did the application, for a charter school, you just wait like a year, it could be done relatively quick. You just received your charter within a year's time. And that'd be the more efficient way for you to open up a school inside of SciTech.
I mean, what I can tell you is our
Whatever.
preferred choice would be a public school, but these, yeah.
Charters are public schools, but also.
Right.
But I see where you're going with this, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I
The
just want,
quickest
prefer
way,
model would be
that's what they're looking for.
well, that's the quickest way,
Right.
the charter school. But I just wanna make sure,
Right.
whatever that is, like, I want Jersey City Public Schools to benefit whatever greatly
Right.
from it, you know what I'm saying? And I know Jersey City students and kids and all the rest of that stuff, but what's gonna happen is, while we're still talking about the value of the land,
Right.
we're also gonna be taking from a K-12 school, a potential 1,000 of kids who are gonna be pulled from the Jersey City Public School District into SciTech, and then when you pull 1,000, you also pull that $1,000 of funding, whatever.
From the public school.
From the public schools.
Yeah.
To be at Liberty, into hot SciTech City.
And the public schools are suffering
And
now from the
public
money
school
being
will
pulled. I
decrease
understand
and
what you're
further
saying.
in population, so if you're talking about per pupil, whatever, like it's $17,000, per pupil, you got 1,000 kids, that's just a lot of money. And then teachers are gonna be laid off and
Yep.
then everything else like that, so there has to be some, cooperation of programming, whereas it doesn't necessarily have to be a charter school, but it could be treated like a program, and you can kinda like get some Jersey City public school staff. There gotta be some type of, coordination, because when you pull those kids from the,
Public
Jersey City public schools,
Right.
there's gonna be a massive amount of unemployment that's
Yes,
gonna
it
take
will.
place inside of Jersey City. So while you'll have those jobs at SciTech,
Right, the public schools still suffering.
I'm a principal and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Sure.
I mean, I can see my numbers dwindle because I don't have bodies inside of the classroom.
Right.
I've seen the projections on the number of students projected to grow in Jersey City. Okay, all the projections that we have show the student base growing.
Public school?
Yeah,
I like to see
absolutely.
that.
I mean, even in my
Yeah.
5 years at the Science Center, 19,000 people have moved into Jersey City, many with kids.
But that's a concern. you know.
Absolutely.
That is a general concern, because we have that issue.
Yeah, and Mr. Hoffman's also meeting with Dr. Lyles as
Yeah.
well, and we'll continue to have those discussions.
We have several comments and questions, so Councilman Yun, Councilperson Osborne, Councilman Gajewski, did you have something still? Okay, Councilperson Gajewski, then Osborne, how's that?
Most welcome. You know, I've read all the literature about 10 times. And just like Michael said, this is a fantastic project. It really is. And I'm a little, like, lost with the evaluation that we gotta keep saying, we gotta get the appraisal, we gotta get appraisal, we gotta appraisal. Well, it's a great project. So if we were gonna do something else with that land, if we were gonna make an athletic field or something else to bring people in there, would we be sitting here at the city council screaming that we gotta get appraisal first before we do it? I mean, this is a great project. If you just talk only about the fact that you're gonna build a school there that's concentrating on STEM education, which if we all listen to the news over the last 5 or 10 years, we keep hearing the same thing over and over again, that the United States is falling behind in the sciences, in engineering, in mathematics, and technology, that our students are not seeking that path. They're not going there. So now we got something available that's there that's gonna show the students that there is a career path in STEM technology. Plus, we're talking about the fact that the demand in jobs in those areas is going through the ceiling. So we've got students that aren't being trained, or they don't want to go there. So that if we have a place where we can just show everybody what it's all about, what the science is all about. You got all those fancy labs there, the wet lab, the fab lab, the data place and everything else that the young children would go and see. That's worth the price of what we're talking about. It really is. It's nice. In fact, it's a bonus that the money that the land eventually gets assessed at is going to come back to us. But how could we not want to go forward with this? This is incredible. And then we're going to bring in, with the component, with the EdgeWorks, we're going to bring in people from all over the place. I mean, good people, intelligent people from different companies, great thinkers. They're going to be there. They've got the equipment at the EdgeWorks to do the job. They're going to be able to go there and test different things, different hypotheses, different types of equipment to see what works. And that can be done with the high school kids, can be there, learning and building their own career. And all of this in the environment, that type of environment where you have this collective process.
I want to get to some folks who may have questions still outstanding, okay?
I had 3 seconds left. Process is where we have really good stuff come out. And I cannot see why we wouldn't want to do this.
Councilperson Osborne and Robinson, yeah? Did you still have a question? Okay. And then Yun.
If people want to have some type of understanding, I understand that you can't do the official appraisal, but if it'll make people, to me, I understand, because I understand that if we allow 20 acres of 200-story buildings, that's going to have a different value of 20 acres of all we allow is a parking lot. So the value of the land is whatever we make it. So I get that, but
Acres, how many acres? It's 17 minus what the MUA is keeping, so
Yes,
it's
it's
probably
actually-
like 14.
How many acres is it? 16?
It's even less, about 14. It's about 14.
Because we still have to subdivide certain parts.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Cass.
Well, no, it's good because over here.
Numbers keep getting tossed around. And it's,
Correct.
Yeah, it's like.
We're talking 14. So could we not, if people want to again, I go back to the fact you could have 14 acres each with 200-story buildings.
Right, it's a different.
It's worth a lot more money than if all we allow or all we zone for is a parking lot. So I think to me, it's easy to understand that the value of that land could be anywhere from $1 million to $70, $100 million, depending on how we wanted to zone it. So the question for us is, if that makes people feel better, why don't you take the Liberty Harbor North value awarded in 2008 by the jury, which was 3.4 acres, that was $21 million for 3.4 acres, and back into it and say, if it had the same zoning as Liberty Harbor North, that's the value of the land. Maybe it could happen, maybe it couldn't, maybe you need to add some dollars from 2008 to now, but whatever. $70 million, $80 million. This is on one end, if we did exactly what Liberty Harbor North was, on the other end, it's worth $1 million if we didn't zone it for anything. I mean, it's at some point, it's within our control. The question is this a good project or not?
The point is also, the council requested evaluation of the land, and the council has been ignored. Simple.
You're going to get.
Councilperson Robinson?
We don't want it after it's been turned over.
There's no, Councilperson Robinson?
Thank you. Changed my office.
Answer, they in here.
Councilperson Robinson.
JCRA and the Liberty Science Center is gonna be officially 50-50 partners?
I don't want to say it like that. I want to be clear because I don't want to miss. So, the city's investment in this project is the land. The Liberty side, to be honest with you, it wouldn't be fair to be 50-50 partners because they're going to put a lot more money into this, even what the value of our land is at. What we're going to do is, once they raise their money, the $78 million of philanthropic money, and they get that paid back, we then split all the revenues from that point forward, 50-50, until we get our money back from the appraisal. That will be done 90 days after closing. After that money is paid back forever, we will be partners. Any revenue that is generated, any net revenue, thank you, Councilman, any net revenue that's generated, the Science Center nonprofit will get 80%, and the city will get 20%. Forever. What?
Any taxes?
That's completely different. So any taxes that are put forward by land, they will have to pay taxes just as any other entity would.
Correct. So we would get our tax dollars on top of that as well.
No, there is the potential for some taxes.
You said it's nonprofit.
Doesn't matter. If certain, with the way certain things work, there's the potential. There's the potential. If there's a parking lot, if there's other things, parking tax. If there's a for-profit hotel that's connected for the scientist, there is a hotel tax that the city will want to, and there's the potential, depending on how it's built, that the improvement will be taxed by property taxes. Okay.
So Liberty Science Center is a nonprofit right now. Our gift store is operated by an outside for-profit entity, and they pay taxes to the
It
city.
shows so much New York City, New York stuff in it.
That is not true anymore. That is not true.
Well, then they changed it since I complained to you.
Let's move on.
Schools, the state pays for the kids to go to school because the Liberty Science Center had problems for years. I told you, I've been involved in it since day one.
Rich, the reason I did
and
my
with that
job
woman.
is because
You're
it was
you're
on the
different
verge of
from the
going out of
person who was
business,
prior to.
and it's been turned around.
All right.
And the reason 650,000 people come there is because we say Jersey City in every piece of marketing material, on billboards along.
Now you do.
250 more thousand people come there because we let them know where it is. We're proud of Jersey City.
How long have you been there?
6 years.
And he's completely turned it around.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm gonna be there in about a month with West Point. I'm there constantly. A year ago, 25 years ago, we had a fight to get New York City taken off of it. I was there last year, going in there with West Point. No, because
Fine into the.
Congratulations on your
they
victory.
had sweatshirts, New York City, New York.
We did not have sweatshirts that said
Okay,
New York City.
okay.
That's
they
simply
did.
Okay. This is like,
I just hope that somehow or another we can work with the public school with you.
I would like to have
That's all.
Jersey City show. Folks,
As hard as much as we can.
I would like to have the final comment, because I actually haven't commented.
Okay.
Can I get something on the record, just for final comment on it? I was one of those council people requesting a appraisal after furnishing and seeing the information and speaking with you about the economic impact. I'm fine without an appraisal. So we can move forward, as far as I'm concerned, on that regard. Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to.
I thought you had a couple of questions in there, but go ahead. No. You have one more question?
Not one, there's a few things I have to ask you. So when I see that Schedule C for development timetable, probably they're gonna finish that 7 years allowance. So in other words, they will probably finish 2024.
That's about right.
That's all right, right?
We're aiming to try to open this, if we can do all the fundraising, in late 2020. Could slip to 2021. We also have built in some other time, but that's what we're aiming to do. If we can complete the fundraising, we're open very late in 2020.
So the JCRA going to turn to the land, the JCRA going to hold the land until they raise the $78 million, correct?
No.
No, just to turn the land. Doesn't matter they raise the $78 million.
We have a reverter clause. If they don't begin construction within 3 months, within 36 months of closing, the land comes back to the city.
Okay. And another question is that, it's okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, moving on. We've got Matt Ward. Matt, you've got one item? 3I, as an independent?
Jersey Park redevelopment plan to create the Emerson District.
What is this? What number?
3I.
3I, the Emerson District.
Good evening, Council. At the last planning board meeting, at the last 2 planning board meetings ago, the planning board voted to recommend to council this amendment. This is an area in the Jersey Avenue Park redevelopment plan, which is located north and surrounding the approach to the Holland Tunnel, west of Jersey Avenue, and mostly north of 12th Street. This specific amendment deals with an area that's bounded by 13th Street to the south, vacated portions of Monmouth Street to the west, 16th Street to the north, and Cole Street to the east. Most people know it as the Statco building. It was formerly the Emerson Radio Factory, which is why it's named the Emerson District. This proposes zoning amendments to that specific area to allow for the development of that area, and it requires certain community benefits that need to be provided by the development of that area by the developer or whoever that may be. One is a public use facility, which would be 20 to 29,000 square feet of space and 40 parking spaces to be used for a public use, which could be a police precinct or something of similar means. Also, this requires the development of Cole Street Park. So this is called the Jersey Avenue Park redevelopment plan, but the main park space that is allocated in this redevelopment plan is west of Cole Street, near 16th Street. And any development that happens in the Emerson District as a part of this amendment would require the development of that park in the first phase. There are also some other more general amendments to the plan regarding design objectives, traffic circulation, general provisions, one being a requirement to notice the community. There is the Jersey Avenue Park Neighborhood Association that has been recently formed that would be codified as being noticed as part of any application for development in the entire redevelopment plan, as well as a requirement that a developer that comes forward needs to petition City Council to request the implementation of a SID or special assessment for the major infrastructure improvements that are required in that area. If you're familiar with the cast iron loss area, that's what we're speaking about. There's been public outreach with the Hamilton Park Neighborhood Association. We've had meetings on this. We've had some edits done as a result of those meetings, and we have before you an amendment that's recommended for approval. Any questions?
Any questions for Matt on this amendment? Hearing it, any questions? Hearing none? Okay. Great.
Next victim?
Oh, Matt, it's not a question, just, could I get a color electronic? I'm having a hard time reading some of this stuff, to be honest with you. It's, the shades were.
Does you like him?
Really? I thought it was my eyes, I mean, eyesight's going.
25 copies, we don't have a color copy. Yeah.
Color.
And are there color copies of the maps too?
Yes.
Next, we got Brian Weller, who has 2 items. I'm sorry, Jim. I know you got a lot of items.
Jim's enjoying himself.
We love watching them in action.
10Z8.
10
Z8.
10Z8 is rejecting all bids for the contract known as Marion Gardens, the new police headquarters. Yeah. Much too much.
What's going on with that? Right, what happened?
Came in about $2 million over budget, so we're gonna change the scope a little bit to get the cost down and rebid it out again. But we're still committed to the facility.
And make the bidders take a drug test.
So they don't do nothing yet?
No, we've
I thought
evaluated
these
the
are
bids.
I thought these are done.
No,
For $1 million.
No, we talked about this almost years ago.
Right.
to start the project,
Yeah.
the bids took a little bit longer, well, the drawings took a little longer to put together, many meetings with the stakeholders, and then, you can see these bids came in October, and we had some hard thinking to do about this, and, well, now we wanted to invest this kind of money, and we chose not to.
Next one, Brian?
10Z18.
Which is a professional services contract with CP Engineers in connection with the design and construction administration for the Hamilton Park gazebo repairs.
Because of the truck?
That truck ran into it.
Insurance.
Did the guy have a heart attack or?
I don't know whatever happened. I don't know if there was a, sorry, go ahead.
The trucker did quite a bit of damage to the structure, and we have to have a structural engineer put drawings together to shore the building up so that it can be properly supported during the reconstruction to make everything right from the accident.
Okay, any questions on that? Hearing none, thank you, Brian. We will bring up Director Shea. You got?
Come on, City Field, let's go.
Be as polite as you want, but we gotta move it on.
Let's go, City Field.
I've got about 8 for both of you, right? 7 or?
Where do you start?
10L, is it?
We've got a long row.
Start with L, so.
10L.
Yeah, 10L. That is the grant application for the law and public safety for the comprehensive traffic safety program.
That's the standard grant we get every year. It covers the DWE, overtime and stuff like that.
The overtime dollars, DWI, enforcement and so forth, suggested in the past that could apply some of that to Newark Avenue pedestrian plaza, when folks break out, right, from midnight to, or
So there's,
weekends.
there's a,
Mike Jones, somebody you want to?
yeah, because there's some other conversations that are happening, so.
That basically, we don't target DWI against anybody except people driving drunk. We don't go to particular locations and target. Newark Avenue, under the mayor, has a plan to be addressed with increased foot posts, including on the midnight, as a prevention measure as opposed to an enforcement.
Foot patrol and some private.
All right, Z8?
We just talked about that. Brian Willow just talked about that.
Sorry, Z9 then.
Let's stay on one.
Z9.
Permit police recruits to attend the Union County Police Academy.
All right, no problem there. Z10?
No, I have a question.
Okay, any questions on Z9?
It's very simple. Usually when we send the people at, what are they called, the police academy, average price was $895 or $900. But this one is $1890, almost a double it. Any reason?
Double the price, you said.
Of the academy charges, what it charges. Some of them charge us less, some of us charge more.
It's a different academy.
Different academy.
Is that right?
Yeah. Some of them charge less, some of them charge more. Some of them give us buy one, get one free. Others charge us for every person. Sometimes they change based on whether they think they have extra seats that will go unfilled or whether we're asking them to put on extra staff.
Yeah, because what I'm saying, last time when
Huh?
every time we sent to the police academy, they cost us $900 each. Guys, now this place,
18.
yeah, the Union County, they ask $1890, almost a double than what we used to pay, over the years. Okay, all right.
No, we could have our own academy.
We can wait till the prices come down, I guess.
So now, another question is that Hudson County Police Academy is, when it's gonna be see? You're gonna see that Hudson County Police Academy?
Hudson County Academy, I'll believe it when I see it.
All right.
Be another political place, county.
Let's move on, Z10.
Tomahawk Defense. This is the claim. This should have been approved at the last meeting. It's ratification of a prior bill. It's a prior year's bill
Why wasn't it approved?
because it got lumped in with a group that.
Ones that have POs, but this didn't need a PO because it's a claim.
Oh, okay.
Z11, Spin Cube.
Thank you.
Is it 9?
Again, like the last one, this is Spin Cube closing out a federal grant that's years old. This is the final thing. It was approved by the feds for this exact material. We cannot substitute as per the grant. It's all state contract, numbers, and again, it was pre-approved by the federal government as part of the grant.
All right, Z12, Santilli.
Right, let's, I'm sorry, just want to make sure. Councilman Yun, does that satisfy your?
I'm not satisfied.
You're not, okay.
But, no choice.
Let me finish, because this is all
Okay.
topic. Let me finish.
Okay, moving on then, Z12.
Robert Santilli is the software that was designed for the police department under the previous administration that accounts for people's records and overtime and stuff. We've actually knocked the price down when we negotiated with them last year. Until we bring in a completely automated system, this is very cost effective, and actually he's very responsive as far as any problems. But this is proprietary. He designed it for Jersey City under the previous administration.
He wrote seven different programs. Medical Bureau.
Yeah,
Fiscal Bureau, I think,
Yeah, it's all
operations.
Just hypothetically, if we were to migrate to something else,
We would have to go completely off this. This is proprietary and it was designed for our systems. When we bring in.
you just take it? that
No,
way?
we can't just.
Or he would take it?
Huh?
It's our data.
It's our data. We
Right.
keep the data,
Keep the
but we
data.
would not be allowed to use his systems unless we up
use
the
the source
license.
code.
It's the same as a license. Every year we have to up, we have to up it, same as our Mark 43 stuff and the others. To do not, yeah, that's what, he just keeps getting paid, as we enter. But to be fair, he has made the modifications we've requested, and he's responsive.
Okay.
Z13, Motorola for annual maintenance of the radio system.
Yeah, this is, pretty standard annual maintenance for our radio systems. Motorola's what everybody uses, it's under, it's what the state police want us to use. And it's pretty much high industry standard.
And you remember the prior administration let this maintenance go.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
it's,
yeah.
and it's spent a lot of money to upgrade it.
We've tested a couple, and just as per the council's mandate, because I do remember that a couple of council people told me, make sure we always look out for new stuff that might be better and cheaper. Every time someone approaches us, we grant them a meeting, we look at their product, and we test it. And nothing has been able to defeat Motorola yet.
Z4, we did 14, 15, turnout.
14.
14, I'm sorry, Tomahawk Defense.
Yeah. This is
Tactic and training course.
This is it's actually two 5-day tactic and training courses. We're doing it right now, one on the day tour, one on the 4 to 12. We just received our new load of, after 3 years, we just received our replacement weapons for our emergency service unit to bring them up to industry standards. We also purchased new optics based on FBI and military recommendations for those weapons. The purpose of this training is to bring our people up to the standards for the job we ask them to do, and to put all of our emergency service people through multiple high-stress shoot-don't-shoot scenarios. So they're going through different locations every day, and they're confronted with different scenarios, and they have to make the decisions on whether to shoot or no shoot. They have to pass. It's a pass-fail. So if they fail, they're not allowed to continue. The records then go into our database, and we have them available to us, God forbid, if there's a negative incident in the future, to justify and to document our training, and that we did everything possible to prevent any negative outcomes.
How many people participate in the training?
The entire emergency service unit, about 40 total. The reason they're going first, as you can see, it's expensive, and they're the ones most likely. I would like to point out, when we came on, all of us, one of the first things we did was look at the units in the police department, and we identified that unit as being disproportionately involved in negative incidents. And part of the reason is we send them to handle negative incidents. So when you disproportionately handle them, you have a chance of being disproportionately involved in them. But we did identify multiple training shortcomings that resulted in negative outcomes in the past. We've addressed them. This is continuing to address them. Since then, we have handled multiple forced entries under less than ideal circumstances, involving emotionally disturbed persons, involving barricaded persons, and in one case involving a hostage taker who was literally shooting at the police as they arrived. They've handled all of them super professionally, no rounds fired. We've been involved in a lawsuit and had to testify about this training and about the necessity for this training, and we won a civil lawsuit 6-0, taking it to jury, no award to the person who was suing us. So it has already paid for, in addition to the moral need for it, it's already paid for itself financially many times over. And we're going to have to continue it. Everybody recommends that if you're going to maintain a unit like this, you train them. And Councilman Waterman has raked me over the coals about training a couple times, but that you train them and continue to train them on a continuous basis. And with the new equipment, we're getting them up to industry standards, and with the training we continue to hold them accountable for, I'm confident that we are meeting our mandate to the citizens.
All right, Z15, turnout and fire and safety for the purchase and delivery of personal protection clothing not covered under state contract.
Yeah, this is just the stuff that is not covered under state contract. It's $30,000 for the very minor things that don't come in as part of that turnout gear that we're required by contract to give them. If we demand that they wear a certain item, we have to provide it for them. So we want them uniform. Everybody knows we're going to be putting a new fire chief in. We just had Chief Rivers retire after a very distinguished 32 years. I'd like to publicly thank him, for his service. We're going to have to be putting in a new chief, and we're interviewing them this week. I look forward to telling the council who we're recommending as an interim chief until we give a test.
Is the chief promoted by merit? Like
Test. It's a test.
That's what I mean.
Fire
It's
and
a test.
test.
Right, it's a test,
Before we
right?
actually go through the test process, they have to appoint an interim chief. Then that person will serve and then call for a test. Yes.
We have to appoint an interim chief from the ranks of our deputy chiefs, and then we have to request a test. The interim chief is only allowed to serve until the test is issued and we have someone who passes it. At that. Oh yes, we're going to request. We're going to request. Yeah, well, no, we're gonna request a test, as soon as possible from civil service.
Okay, since we're on fire, can I ask another question?
Of course.
Now, I know the fire stations are closed, certain ones are closed throughout the city, which is a challenge, because you know what, the city is growing. Is there any mechanism in place on how we can open other fire stations? I'm just-
Yes.
Companies,
I'll
well,
close,
companies.
yes, we never close a fire station, ever, under any circumstance. Some of the fire stations that have multiple companies, we might close a company if we have to. We have done a lot of work to prevent them from being closed. When we took over, just so everyone understands,
Yeah, I know when we took over, but the city's growing now.
well, we're moving, but I just want to show, I want to give you a picture. When we took over, there were foreclosed every day for the previous 10 years. End of story. I mean, people say different things, they're lying. There were foreclosed a day for the previous 10 years. We have that up to over, so that gave us 24 a day. We have that up to over 26 a day on average now. We're getting very close to 27. We only have 28 told, so we're almost there. We're negotiating with both fire unions right now, and we are confident that we are going to get work rule changes that allow us to keep those 28 companies open. Because the reason we're not keeping them open is because we're required by contract, under contracts that were signed before us, we're required to give too many people, in my opinion, off on certain days. So we have asked them, in return for a fair contract, to give us some concessions in that. Pardon me? I don't want to get too much into it, but
No, but I just want to know, because the city's growing and companies are closing, and people, residents to call because they're concerned.
yeah,
you know.
but there's no need for them to be concerned. There is never a moment when they are not. We have the safety of the citizens. Like, we have 28 companies because that's what's there. Truth be told, I don't know if we need, the city's growing, but we're also growing with the less fire hazards and stuff. I don't even know if we need all 28, but we have them. We have 28, we're committed to staffing them. We had to make some changes to staff them. We have more than enough firefighters and more than enough fire officers. We just needed some changes. No, we have the same commitment as you want. We want all of them staffed.
Are you going to speak to Glencoe's supply for the purchase and delivery of 3 solar variable message boards? That's OEM.
Yeah, if anyone has any questions, I can cover it for Greg. It's just the 3 solar message boards. It's coming out of his grants, and it's the message boards that we use for traffic, and if we have to close a street or to give a message to the city, we're going to experiment more and more with them this year. We're going to plan on using them for snowstorms and everything, too. Of course, ma'am.
This has nothing to do, but since we're on the police officers, it's not often I see the director. So I think, now, I remember one time it was a plan in place to have officers stationed at the Bethune Center. What happened?
The Bethune Center and
Remember,
us.
because y'all were gonna-
Yeah, we ended up moving that office. That's the Community Affairs office. That's going to be opened in the hub. Because.
No, they didn't have room in the hub.
No, we do. Dave Donnelly found us an office. We're opening up right across from the bank in the hub with the sergeant and the people, yeah.
Before was no room, because.
Yeah, agreed.
He kicked you out.
Yes, he did.
Right, so
But Dave got us new space. We have to rent it from him, but he got us new space. We're going to be opening, as per the mayor, the Community Affairs Officer and Recruitment are going to be in the hub, opposite the bank that's opened up there. And the reason we didn't go to the Bethune Center was because after we negotiated and stuff, they really didn't want to give us the space that we needed. They had too much, they did want to give it to us, they just had too many other things they had to do with the same space.
When we first took office, when it was, when off-duty police officers would go to the mall to get their assignment, where are they going now?
Well, they were going to the Bethune Center for the last couple months. We moved that to the Bethune Center for those job picks.
Okay, so where they now? They still in the Bethune Center, because I don't think so.
We've stopped allowing those picks. Right now, we're trying to get into the 21st century. Instead of them showing up for the picks now, they just submit a piece of paper ahead of time, and it's all done in the office, and then they get the answer back. So there are no more physical bringing everybody to one place for picks. None.
We don't see that.
None.
At all.
None. No.
Are you here for corporate training
Go,
group?
wait a minute.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Officers now?
Yes, we are.
How many?
Around 20. I'm sorry, I don't know the exact number. They're the ones coming out, not the ones that went in. So I need 30 days of training for them, including the community training that's mandated now, and then they'll be hitting the streets.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, please, I hope to see everybody, if you could, at the graduation tomorrow. Yeah, yep.
Corporate training group, Ian?
That's not mine.
That's not it.
No? I think I'm done.
You're done.
Yeah, and Marion, just the one thing I would like to add, not that I'm volunteering to throw much, but Marion Gardens will be a police facility. We have not walked away from that. It still may be our headquarters. The problem is the bids came in way over. Nobody was willing to do it, so we put it back out to bid, but we are still committed to opening it there, and we will be opening a police facility in Marion Gardens. Thank you.
Pat, Director Stamato? Come on up. I'm gonna just talk outside. The floor is yours. I gotta. We got 10X.
10X is a resolution authorizing the use of competitive contracting to award a contract for city-wide landscaping services. This is basically a backup to our parks and forestry, and also this is a preliminary to go out to bid. So we're exploring that. Yes, ma'am.
Will this cause anybody to lose their job in the long run?
Not at all.
No, they'll still be able, because our guys can't handle this. We can't hire more people. I'm only curious, because, you know, they're always looking to better themselves and skill set.
I have the same question.
I mean, we can't hire no one. I mean, we can't train them to make them have a better quality of life. I mean,
It's a matter of people, really. And what's happening is, with the budget that we presented, it's a backup to our program, to our people. It's not a matter of eliminating anybody. It's expanding on the possible going forward, on the ability to go ahead. This is something that I would resort to if we did not have the necessary manpower in place. So it's a backup to what we have. It's basically, exactly, that's exactly what it is. It's a backup to what we do for our snow. We go as far as we can with our employees. The minute it gets overwhelming for us, then we'll bring in private contractors. So it's the same scenario.
I'm asking this question because the employees are always looking for an increase in salary.
That's correct.
You know, so I'm thinking, if we're gonna hire an outside company, is there something that we can do for them to motivate them to increase their salary to be at a better skill set, so we won't have to do this? Because they always looking to increase their salary. So is there a way that we can train them to do, I mean, because we hiring this company.
And the question she's asking is really, are these higher skill jobs?
These are really higher skill jobs. They're somewhat skilled landscapers for your trimming of your hedges.
So you have to be skilled to do landscaping.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to ask the question, can we train our employees to become better landscapers? Because this will increase their salary, which they do want an increase in salary. Not only that, it'll give them a better skill set.
We do that exactly what you're saying right now, Councilwoman.
I think this is really more about increased capacity. What it is there are certain peak times during the season. So for example, we're going to be.
Then we use our season.
So we have seasonals we can use.
Right.
But at the same time, this is about having increased capacity. So that if we decide, no, we definitely want to get this park ready this week, and we're at capacity with our teams, then we have the ability to bring someone in and get it done for us to be open for that week. That's all it is. It's that as needed. Yeah.
I just think we can do better with our employees, that's all.
Councilman Joyce,
I agree.
actually, I have a same page, that's why I put in the word say, no.
Again, I want to emphasize,
Okay,
this is
now,
a backup, similar
let
to
me,
what you
let
have
me,
for snow.
listen.
Yes, sir.
As you say, we're gonna hire the backup company too, when they have a lot of demand, when we are short.
This is a preliminary to possibly going out to bid for a backup. It's basically covering ourselves that if it became overwhelming and we couldn't handle it with our employees, we need something to fall back on, just like we do with a snowstorm. Believe me, I want to keep as much in-house as possible and offer this to our employees.
That's the case.
Z4 too is the same type of question.
Instead we hired outside outsourcing, right? Maybe give some overtime to our employees so they have some more dollars to take home. That's what she's looking for. Okay? Right. Very clear, right? Yep. Thank you very much.
Give our employees more money.
Control technology to provide security maintenance. Why?
This is a resolution authorizing award of a contract to Access Control Technologies to provide security maintenance for the Department of Public Works, Buildings and Street Divisions. The areas, this is This has to do with the courthouse and the Bethune Center, okay? And as it states here, maintain the barrier gates at municipal court, annual preventive maintenance for the systems that are in place for security, has a cabinet x-ray system, and ACT is familiar with the system architecture at the locations. This company also will supply any type of outdated or systems that fail in the course of this next year. And there are items that need to be updated, which they're fully aware of.
Okay, Z, National Fuel Oil, and Z1, Rachel's Michelle Oil Company. That's for diesel and for gasoline, under state contract.
Yeah.
I'm going to have Steve Miller address this.
I can answer that very quickly. This is the temporary resolution that's needed on both of these until the bid is awarded. The revised, remember, we rejected the bids and we did the revisions. It's out to bid. The bid reception is on the 16th. So if there's no problems with the bid this time, we should get a resolution in April to award. But we need something to pay them in the meantime.
Okay, 3, City Auto and Truck Parts, doing business as Bayonne Auto Parts for the purchase and delivery of parts for heavy-duty vehicles under state contract.
That's correct. This year is something that's been put out for bid. It's in the process of being awarded, and it's for parts of the vehicles that we have in inventory, which roughly comes out to 1,600 vehicles that we service throughout the city.
Contract is for 150, right? But it said we only spent 50,000 in 2016. Why is it? I'm just curious. See?
This is only an estimate. It covers us. Our fleet is getting older every year, and the amount of equipment that we have out there, it's just basically a precaution. That's what it is.
So we won't really spend it in that?
We don't.
Even though we in contract, we won't.
Correct. That's correct.
You only pay for what you get.
But it covers us, just in case.
Deep Run Aquatic Services for Pershing Field and Pavonia Pools.
This is to provide the necessary chemicals to service those pools so that we don't run into any problems during the summer months.
Z4, Jeans Landscaping for fertilizing, seeding, and aeration throughout various...
This is very simple. I can answer this one real well. We do not have the equipment necessary to service these fields. This is also going to be brought up in our, what are you looking at me for? In our capital budget very shortly. To basically possibly look at the actual purchase of this type of equipment. But we also need to cover ourselves.
All right, Z5,
So we don't have
Yes,
nobody in the state of New York. This is in New York, right? This company,
Yep.
This was a public bid.
yeah, and so this is
That's
only, and so we
bid
don't have
six.
nobody.
That gives you
in
how,
state.
that gives you
I
an
know.
idea how specialized this
Nobody
equipment
in
is.
Jersey
It's
City,
aeration equipment, it's seeding equipment, it's
Yeah.
fertilizing equipment. You know, and we're exploring whether it's really feasible for us to go and buy this type of equipment.
Right.
Does it really make sense when you look at these numbers?
Right,
So we're handling all these locations for roughly $39,000.
yeah.
All right, Z5, Sports Pros USA for the maintenance of basketball courts.
We're forced to put this out for bid because we don't have anybody who's capable of maintaining our basketball courts, our baseball, just different things like that.
I'm a strong believer that how can people get an increase in salary and they only at a certain skill set? Their salaries will always remain the same, and yet we keep contracting out to do certain jobs that if we just train our people, it can increase their salary, increase their skill set, and they'll be happy to work for Jersey City.
I would love to. I'll look into it. When you're talking this type of equipment, I think it would be great if we could do it in-house. And believe me, if we can do it in-house, we will do it.
Always looking for an increase. So I'm, saying, okay, you want an increase, but your skill set, that's important too. So we can make a mechanism to try to train them to get a certain skill set, then, the increase is justifiable.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
I've been working very closely with the BA.
Some of them been here like 30 years, but these skill sets are still on a certain level.
But I don't think it's skill set. I think what he's saying is that, do we purchase the equipment to
No.
do it?
You're gonna have to, if you purchase equipment, somebody's gonna have to run it. They're gonna have to be trained.
We have to train.
They're
we
gonna have to
go
be
through
trained.
training. And
They're gonna
does
have
it
to be
really
trained.
pay to purchase this type of equipment?
Right.
Are we gonna, does it make sense? So that's what we need to look at. But there are other options that I have been working closely with the BA that you will be aware of shortly, and looking at different programs that we do have in-house and maybe expanding upon those programs to see if our employees would, fit those needs. So basically, that's what we're looking to do.
In the basketball courts, what is it that they're?
You're talking about the backboards, the netting, the rims, the actual court, the lineage, all that kind of stuff. That's just on the basketball courts. Well, it's not that easy.
That's us a screwdriver, but maybe it's more entailed, you know what I'm saying? You know.
And that's the special decking on,
Look at the number of fields and the number of courts.
Okay,
Break it
got
down.
it. I'm just
All
trying
right.
to
Any
give
other
people more
questions?
money.
Yeah.
I think we,
Army beat Navy.
That's it?
That's it.
Thank you very
Thanks,
much.
Pat.
all right, Z6 and Z7, network management and H&L, they were
Just had POs to permit.
Do you have
PO
anyone else from the city?
That's it.
Steve, you have any specific items?
No, that's it.
That was it?
From the top, Robert?
Let's go from the top.
Well, can we finish the resos? We're very close to the end of the resos. Whatever you want.
But then we gotta go from 10 a.m.? There we go. Yeah.
3A, we did. 3B is an ordinance, an annual ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and establish a cap bank. 3C, establishing an open space recreation and historic preservation trust fund pursuant to the statute. 3D,
Questions? None? Let's
an
move on.
ordinance authorizing the conveyance of 7 residential condominium units within 311 Washington Street to the redevelopment agency. We fought about this at the last meeting.
Yeah, but
E.
why we have to be changed to the JCRA? The ownership.
Yeah,
I was wondering really. City of Jersey cannot handle that the 5 units of condo, we can sell by public bidding.
so, no, yeah, so I agree that the,
But why we have
One
to?
at a time.
Yeah, why we have to be, to change ownership from Jersey to JCRA?
Why JCRA and
JCRAs
not our
are
real estate
enabled-
office? Or
No, we have limitations as to how we can sell property. JCRA can sell property through the regular market, and they could do things like.
Put out the bid.
So they could sell like a regular real estate broker would sell. So when you sell your house, what do? You get a real estate broker. That's, JCRA is acting as our real estate broker.
I mean, the City of Jersey cannot sell by public auction.
You could sell it by public auction, but you're not gonna make as much money that way. When you sell your house,
You will not.
you don't auction it off, you get a real estate broker. There's a reason why.
So you believe that when we sell that by through the JCRA, we can get the more dollars? That's what
That's our opinion.
That's your opinion.
And it's been the case every time.
That's more money for the Affordable Housing Trust Fund.
Okay, we did E.
I'm sorry,
F is-
Councilperson Osborne, Councilperson Gadsden.
That's what she's saying.
This is on 3C.
yeah.
I'm sorry, 3D, 3D.
I want to go back to 3C, just a quick question.
Okay, let's finish 3D and then
Sure.
we'll go back to
Go
3C.
ahead.
Candace, 3D?
So, I just want to make sure that I understand how 1C is discussed.
C or D?
No, so within 3D,
See,
1C.
Okay, 1C, that's 3D.
So, when the money goes into the Affordable Housing Trust Fund, is it going to, are we guaranteeing, said differently, that that money can only be used to do low and moderate income artist housing?
You guys can if you'd like to, that's up to you.
That's what it says in here, and I feel like it's not necessarily.
Wait a minute, that says that in the reso?
In the reso. Yes, it does. In the ordinance, rather.
The ordinance, I mean?
In 1C,
I'm
sale.
trying to understand if that's actually accurate, given how the Affordable Housing Trust Fund works.
When the zoning board approved the amendment to the variance, one of the stipulations in order to allow the city to forego the affordability restrictions on these units was that at least 7 of the units would be, the money would be used to provide funding for 7 live-work artist units. There's gonna be more money than that from this. And then the balance would be used for low and moderate income. But in all cases, it's gonna be low and moderate income, it's just the first 7 will be for artists, live-work units. That was the stipulation imposed by the zoning board.
Awesome, cool, that's what I was wondering, thank you. No questions.
Okay. Going back to 3C, Open Space Trust Fund, Councilman Gadsden.
20 days after the ordinance is passed, that's when we want to start paying taxes into the.
No, so here's the process. At the next council meeting, there'll be 2 more companion resolutions. One, asking the council to approve the dedication by rider, so when the funds do come in, it'll go into that specific account. And number 2, there'll be a second resolution to establish the rate for this year. So, assuming everything gets passed, we won't start collecting it until we adopt the budget. It'll be in the 3rd and 4th quarter tax bills. So you won't start collecting on that until the tax bill of August of this year.
Okay. Any other questions?
So how much will they expected to buy? Around $1.2 million?
So what I'm understanding is that I think the administration is going to recommend 1 cent, which would be equivalent to about $622,000 this year.
Just 1 cent.
1 cent of 100,000 per 100. So
With a one-to-one match.
So councils, just so you understand, there have to be an annual process. The council will have to adopt a resolution establishing the rate each year. So to alleviate the concerns of a revow, when the ratables go up, that 1 cent could be maybe half a penny next year or a quarter of a penny. So so the council will be able to address it every year.
Great.
Correct.
2 cents per 100.
All right, F, stop intersections designating James Avenue and Van Kuren Avenue as a stop intersection. That's down in no man's land.
Dog patch.
G is an ordinance granting permission to 225 Bay Street to make improvements in the public right-of-way
Do you have any lawyers?
adjacent to the property located at 225 Bay Street. You need a lawyer?
Yeah.
The attorneys for the,
This is,
property?
this is a
So my-
ordinance, if you read the first couple whereases,
Yeah.
this is required by our own planning board. Then they send these folks to my office, and then they have to plunk down $2,500 so that they can be in compliance with what the planning board wants to see the block look like.
See, what the planning board says has nothing to do with the city council, but we have to prove that the franchise agreement. But my concern is that the sidewalk seems like they're not wide, but we talking about that the floor part will be 5 foot deep. So now I'd like to know actual wide of the side streets. How wide is this sidewalk? Anybody can say?
This was approved by planning. This was approved by planning. It's,
But that's what I'm saying, but franchise, if we city of Jersey City, this council, if you not prove the franchise agreement and then go back to planning board, they should take away that one. So now my concern is that when I see that the rules, the street is, sidewalk is wide around 10 foot away, 10 foot. but they took over 5 foot away from the sidewalk for the floor cut. They got out of mind. They talk about the really public safety issue, pedestrian issue.
They would have to do it by feet.
We have
So
Oh, we're
let planning
talking
come.
16 feet here.
Right.
Michael will have planning reach out to you and be available on Wednesday, okay?
Because, Bob, you understand, right?
Yes, sir.
Sidewalk is
They're
around
the
the
ones that are putting this on the property owners.
10 foot wide, but they will take a 5 foot
H, corrective deed for block 16302, lot 20 in the city of Jersey City pursuant to the Green Acres requirements. I, we did earlier, the Emerson district. J, amending, I think this being withdrawn?
This being withdrawn.
Withdrawn, good. Let's know a discussion on that.
It's yours.
Any,
Oh, yeah.
You asked to withdraw.
yeah, it's withdrawn, no discussion.
Council President, they like to have, because the reason to withdraw, there's some portion of that John 16 as it belong to Ward C. So Council Richard would need time to reach out, those he's a district people, that's why, but he's gonna be contacted with there like in weeks, so what gonna be next week council meeting, I'd like to pro back to next council meeting,
Can I
okay?
comment on that?
Okay.
I actually thought the councilman was gonna withdraw it because this was Councilwoman Osborne's last year. Was this yours, Candace?
I tried to do something very
Yeah,
similar,
and
and
he
this council
refused.
voted it down.
Yes, he turned it down.
So
So we're doing
when
the
I put
same
it
thing.
back on, I can suggest that anybody who votes for this, sure as
Absolutely.
heck
They're
better
gonna
vote
vote for
for
you.
mine.
Yes.
Because I got voted down,
Right.
to be clear,
Right.
I got voted down and called a racist
That's true for that.
for this.
And that
For
kind
the-
of.
For trying to change the parking to 11 PM.
Right.
So, this is sensitive to me.
Just for the record.
If I put the, you were the only person who voted for it. So if I put it back on, and somebody votes for this, they sure as heck better vote for mine.
Okay, I'll vote for you, okay, 3J. Yeah, this is the one, okay?
Are you sure, Rich?
Second reading ordinances, Gino Connell's been hanging out all night for item 4A. Thanks for being here all night, Gene, good night.
That's a very interesting meeting.
Any other questions? We have traffic ordinances. Any other questions on second reading ordinances?
We have the no-knock ordinance. All right.
Knock 3 times. Ten A, emergency temporary appropriation. It was changed to add another item of
4G.
need.
Could I ask a question?
Sure.
4G, because I wasn't here. I was not here last month. 4G, the second reading ordinance. That's the 20-year tax.
Sure, go ahead.
20-year tax. Who is this? Yeah. Because I wasn't here. I wasn't here.
Developer's name is Jeff White. The GC is
Because they buying up an extra 10 years,
Field Construction.
right?
Yes. Okay.
Somebody tell me something, because before we voted no on the one with the school and everything. Now I want to know, we voting 20 on this?
This is up for a 20-year, yes. Up for a 20-year, second reading.
Okay. D, reappointing Rami Aid as a full-time judge of the Jersey Municipal Court. E and F are appointing members to the Jersey City Immigrant Affairs Commission. Elvin Dominici and Cecilia Aranza Mendez. G, granting 2016 veteran property tax deductions. H, granting 2016 senior citizen, disabled, or surviving spouse property tax deductions. I is supporting the 2016 interpretation of Title 9 by the United States Department of Education, Office of Civil Rights, and the...
Robert?
Sorry?
Is it somewhere else down the road? Where are the other at the bottom? Okay.
They at the bottom. They all at the bottom.
All right, let's keep
They
going.
mixed in.
Let's go.
J, we did already. K, submission of a sustainable Jersey small grants application by the city. L, the comprehensive traffic safety program we did earlier. M, a license agreement with the Reservoir Preservation Alliance, an annual event. N, removing restriction from deed of conveyance 175 Clerk Street. O, rescinding, wait.
So just a 3M.
Oh,
Yeah. M. Yeah, M like a Mary.
The same thing we've been doing for the last 10 years.
Yes, we well, but I bring up the every time. Reservoir 3, if we see that there are things, the program they provide to Jersey City is really amazing. So educational tourism program, recreational program, live maintenance, a fishing event to provide also a recreation, water-based recreation like kayaking. They provide like a half dozen of great things, and some other park cannot provide the people of Jersey City. But now this organization have to get $5 million, you know what I'm saying? And all those things the program provide to the city of Jersey City. Something the city of Jersey should be do there, but they do. But they have to pay care of half a $5 million insurance that costs like $4,000 a year. I think when I look at it, the $4,000 city of Jersey should pick up as a risk management place or waive that their things. They should have to do that because they, instead of pay attention more program, they have to pay attention to the raise of money. I think that's not fair to non-profit organization provide a great service to people of Jersey. I think it's not fair.
We can waive the insurance, but they have to have
Yeah.
insurance though.
No.
Speak with the risk management.
We wouldn't want to waive the insurance.
But no. City of Jersey can financially
Right.
actually pick up $4,000 a year, whatever, you know what I'm saying? So,
Let's just be clear about this. For a lot of reasons, this model has been developed for us. We couldn't just pick up the fee for their insurance, because that would make us the insured. But more important than that, if you wanted to give them money, you have ways of supporting nonprofits. That's not the way to support a nonprofit. They can apply for funding through the Community Development Corporation. They can apply for all kinds of other sources. This is not the vehicle, and we definitely want them to be insured. The liability up there is huge for when people go up on that site, and the city is self-insured. So we definitely want that protection. Okay? CDBG, or like the councilwoman said, you could waive, if there's any fees we charge them, we could waive any fees we personally charge them if you want. Yeah.
All right, where are we?
All right, let me get back and trying to,
Back on track.
Oh,
okay, O, rescinding a resolution that authorized the execution of a mortgage subordination agreement affecting 2022 Kennedy Boulevard. P is authorizing the execution of a mortgage subordination agreement as is Q for, no.
No? I thought we did take care of this whole thing with Mrs. Chico. 1209 Summit, isn't it?
right.
No.
Well, she said thank you, right?
Well, let's just.
Yeah, let's just go.
People are saying thank you.
Right, let's go. But she said thank you.
1209 Summit Avenue and 16 Breland Terrace are S, T, U, V, and W all authorize the business administrator to execute a discharge of mortgage at 59 Belmont, 136 Gray Street, 2361 Kennedy Boulevard, 433 Pacific Avenue, 247 and a half Pine Street, 96 Zabriskie Street, X and Y done earlier, Z1 through Z5 done, Z6 and Z7 we alluded to earlier because they were just PO issues at the last meeting. Z19, we're hiring Keith A. Bonke Esquire.
we're not gonna do Z8 through Z18?
Z8 through Zion.
Jim Shea did it. Z8
Z16?
You missed Z8?
was Brian Weller, did Z8.
Right, that's what, yeah.
Z19, Keith Bonke, serve as special counsel to represent the city in the pending foreclosure matter involving the property located at 227 Clinton Avenue.
Why we moved them on foreclosure issue? What happened to the building? It's owned by City of Jersey, what happened there?
It's a pending matter related to a property, and it's just, it's one of those, really technical pro forma things that come up every once in a while, and this is the council we use for it. It's not like Jersey City owns property that we didn't pay our mortgage on. It's not that type of thing. It's a technical thing that happened. Okay? You don't,
No, he needs more explanation.
What is it? It's like affordable housing units? What is it?
He wants to know the nature of why.
Yeah, why?
Why are we involved?
let me pull it up for you.
Joanne, you got it? 227 Clinton?
You son of a gun.
227 Clinton Avenue?
227 Clinton.
You familiar with it? No, none of us really. It's super thin.
All right, let's,
Clinton, no, it's Clinton Avenue.
Tell me.
We're not gonna know, I have to look it up.
Alright, we'll go back.
just say no.
We'll come back to it. Moving on.
C20, authorizing the renewal and amendment of professional services agreement with John Curley. 21, professional services agreement with Power, Gilgallen, and Rudy to represent the city in the matter of MEPT.
Yeah, 21.
What is that?
So in reading that one, I don't know who this one is for, but like, it seems ridiculous that we even have to, so we have to retain counsel for that. Are they gonna pay us back? Cause that just seems like.
Clinton Avenue?
21.
Z21.
MEPT, Journal Square.
Oh, so no, what that really is about is they had a prepayment on the property. We went to trial arguing for a bunch of reasons that that prepayment is city money. They won at the trial level. The judge said, so now we're appealing that matter.
Okay.
Yeah.
But actually, whatever they paid not returnable, right?
Exactly.
Very clear.
Very clear.
Yeah, so.
The judge didn't see it as clear.
Clear, I'm thinking they should have to pay us back for our legal fees because, okay.
Z22, Eric Pennington to represent the city in the matter of Pierre Lindo Senior versus Capital One Financial Corp. et al. And Capital One Financial Corp. via the city of Jersey City. Z23, a small law firm, Reichert, Danzig, Scherer, Highland, and Peretti to represent the city to serve as special counsel in connection with potential litigation related to state appropriated funds.
So that is just us getting ready to learn more about our rights and the rights of the school board and the proposed school funding debate that the governor tried to raise. That's all it is. We're just getting ready. On Z19, I'll have an answer for you guys on Wednesday. I'm drawing a blank on it. Do you remember?
That was the fire damage building. That's the fire damage.
Oh, it's
building.
affordable units.
There were like 4 different mortgages on it, to the city, and it involves a specialty concerning mortgage foreclosures. And it really is a very esoteric little area of the law that we just don't have that expertise in-house. The city has more than $500,000 in the project, so it's very important that we secure and protect that.
Cool.
Z25, or Z24, you beat to death with Charles Montaigne. 25, Andrew Abrams,
Can I just ask?
and Z26 are related. Does that mean shut up?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Z24, any questions on Z24? We also have a representative here from the Embankment Coalition. Okay, beat it to death. I just want to make sure.
Beat to death earlier.
Take a minute. All right,
Want to bang that so I can get started again?
let's get started again.
25 and 26 are related. Andrew Abrams being hired as the Chief Municipal Public Defender, and Z26 are the roster of public defenders, attorneys of law at law serving as public defenders. Z27, 28, 29, all appoint members to the Immigrant Affairs Commission. Rosa Santana, Musab Ali, Imtiaz Sayed. 30 is appointing some guy named Council President Rolando Lavaro as a member of the Immigrant Affairs Board. We did Z31 with Flanagan, and Z32 is a pro bono professional service from Cooley LLP in connection with the presidential executive order.
Can we get a motion?
Second.
We have a motion by Councilperson Waterman, seconded by Councilperson Osborne, to adjourn.
Jeremy, you well.
All right, say goodnight, everyone. Good night.